Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for Championship review and reaction. Round 44. It's nearly over, guys. 2 games to go and playoffs. And we now know who our second promoted team are. Congratulations to Watford, who made it over the line. We also know who our 4 playoff teams are with 2 games to go. By God, well done, Brentford, Bournemouth, Swansea and Barnsley, who are going to be in the playoffs. Start preparing for that. We do still, fortunately, have stuff to talk about on the channel, though, because although there may be a lot of beach ball over the next couple of weeks, we do still have a relegation picture involving, 5 teams now. Wycombe, Wednesday, Rotherham, Derby and Huddersfield down there. Something could still happen down the bottom there, and we could still get our potentially seismic end of day, end of season head-to-head between Derby and Sheffield Wednesday. We'll see what happens. Either way, it's been great, hasn't it? We've still got the playoffs to look forward to. Of course, we can start chit-chatting about them pretty soon. Right, we're going to go through the round 44 action. We've got 12 games to talk about. I would love to get your comments on each and every single game. Try and keep them on the game we're talking about, and then I'll read out as many as I see fit, God damn it. But hopefully plenty as we go through. Let me know that you can see me, hear me loudly and clearly, of course. Let's say thank you to Russ. There we go. Found the picture. Fan and now friend despite being several tasted in football teams. Russ is our fan sponsor for the review show and has been many shows this season. So thank you to him. Way more than 46 in the end, isn't it? With the midweek rounds and split review shows and all of that good stuff. Russ got involved on Patreon. You can do the same. Patreon exclusive shows. Classics Reviewed is coming. I promise. It's been put back another day. I'm so sorry. Dave's got a meeting tomorrow. So Patreon exclusive Classics Reviewed will be filmed on Wednesday now, not on Tuesday. My apologies for that. Thursday Q&A will be going ahead as ever. That was a great show last week with all the Euro chats. Think about subscribing on Patreon. You can support via Super Chat any point in the broadcast. Little bit of fun and more seriously, I haven't had a job since June. So every little helps as we build the channel. And speaking of every little helps, if you are here, and a lot of people have been doing this, we're having a nice little kick towards the end of the season here, over 15,400. I think it's gone up to now for the subscriptions. But please hit subscribe over on YouTube. Every little helps. Right. I haven't done a running order. That was dreadfully unprofessional of me, wasn't it? So you're going to have that along the bottom there. But what we can do is bring up the split screen here and bang through the results. And then we're going to go in order from top to bottom. I mean, I say I haven't done a running order. I could kind of prop that up there and you could see that. I suppose it looks better when it's on the screen. Never mind. Moving on. Here are our results from round 44. Bournemouth 0, Brentford 1, Barnsley 1, Rotherham 0, Blackburn 5, Huddersfield 2, Cardiff 2, Wycombe 1, nearly gone Wycombe. Some big maths to keep them in the league now. Coventry 0, Preston 1, Derby 1, Birmingham 2, oof. Middlesbrough 3, Wednesday 1, Forest 1, Stoke 1, QPR 1, Norwich 3, Watford 1, Millwall 0. Watford promoted. Reading 2, Swansea 2. That was the game that locked the playoffs. And much to Nigel Pearson's disgust, Bristol City 2, Luton Town 3. Let's start at the top. And Norwich aren't quite champions yet. They may have to wait until the weekend when they play Reading, I think. But they got another win, Norwich. Their 28th win of the season. They can't get 100 points anymore, but they can damn sure get 99 if they can get 6 points from the final 2 games against Reading and Barnsley, who are like most of the sort of top 7 now. They're all done, really, until the playoffs. So, we'll see how those games pan out. Norwich beat QPR, who'd been in decent form for the longest time. But we said this one would be a high scorer, and I think there was a ton of chances and 4 goals in the end. Norwich take this one 3-1. There are your teams. Dieng in goal for Rangers, Dickey, De Vries, Barbet, Wallace, Kake, Johansson, Thomas, Chair, Willock, Dykes, and for Norwich, Krull, Aarons, Omar Bamidele, Hanley, Quintia, McLean, Skip, Buendia, Dowell, Cantwell, and Tamu Pookie. Here are the goals. Dreadful goalkeeping here by Senny Dieng. He's been really good all season, hasn't he? And last couple of games, he's just lost it somewhat, hasn't he? He got the red card, didn't he, at Middlesbrough? And this one, well, it's just horrible, isn't it? It's the shot straight at him and he spills it. And it trickles over the goal line before he can tap it back out. Bit of a aberration there from Dieng. Grant Hanley on Willock there. Unfortunately, Lyndon Dykes is going to hit that penalty right down the middle of the goal on the floor, and Tim Krull sticks out a left leg to make the save. Anywhere else over to the other side, Lyndon? Not the best penalty you'd ever see, that one. This is a great goal by Max Aarons. McLean, you can see 23 in the corner of the pitch, crosses that to the back post. Cushion volley into the net by Max Aarons, who is heavily linked now with West Ham and Everton. And the press are using Aarons, who will be leaving in the summer. So it may be Max Aarons' last goal for Norwich, possibly. Here's Lyndon Dykes actually scoring this time. Taps that one in over the line. Oh, give away from QPR out of defence. And who's the one guy you don't want on the end of a nice simple finish there? Emi Buendia sticks that in. What a season he has had. And it is a 3-1 to Norwich. Let's see what that did to the table, and then we can get your comments on it. So 93 for Norwich. They got 94 in 2018-19. So 2 points will beat that total. But in terms of them winning the actual league title trophy and whatever way you want to describe it, so the maximum upside for Watford is now 94. So yeah, one more win will do it for Norwich, and they will be second tier champions for the second time in 3 seasons. Rangers stick on 62, and Borough and Cardiff both went past them. So in the little race for 8th place there, I don't think anyone's going to catch Reading, are they? QPR lost ground this weekend. Let's have a look at your comments. 15 away wins for Norwich. Brilliant stuff, yeah. Lack of fans had an impact. Nice, yeah. Agreed, actually. We were 1 down to a soft goal, but in truth, they dominated our box, deserved that 1-0 lead. We've got to manage the game better. What else have we got here? Nice one, Chris. There you go. Any more comments on that one? I can't see any more on the Norwich game. So we will move on, and we will say well done and congratulations to Watford, who needed a win, didn't they? Especially after Brentford had won at Bournemouth earlier in the day. It was all set up with that Brentford win, actually. Could have been squeaky bum time for Watford this week. They needed to get the job done when they could. And by God, did they do it. Watford won, Millwall 0, and the promotion confirmed at the weekend. Ismail Assar with the goal. I'll have a look at that in a second. But yeah, brilliant stuff from Watford, who, like Norwich, bounced straight back up into the Premier League. Obviously, it's a very different story if you've been in the Premier League 5 seasons, as Watford had, and you're far further entrenched into the contracts and the high costs of things. It's a very different outlook than, frankly, Norwich, who went up with most of the team that got them up, kept them, didn't really spend a lot of money, came back down, still got the same team, haven't picked up too much in the way of Premier League legacy costs. Someone like Watford had to have a big clear out, a little retooling. Yes, they have good players. Yes, they have the parachute money, but you always have to manage we have to manage sort of three things, don't you? You have to cut costs, you have to keep enough quality, and you have to keep enough stability, because the first two normally affect number three. So well done, Watford. Yes, we know it's on paper easier for teams with more broadcast money, disproportionately more broadcast money, and better players. But you do still have to manage that situation, especially if you've been up for 5 years and presumably there's not many championship level wages in your squad by the time you've been up that long. There is that team for Watford: Backman, Firmino, Ekong, Sierralton, Messina. Classic Watford back four for the season, isn't it? Cleverly, Hughes, Gosling, Sema, João Pedro, Sarr. For Millwall, Bialkowski, Romeo, Evans, Cooper, Malone, McNamara, Keefton Bell, Mitchell, Bennett. Bradshaw starts with Jed Wallace up top. Penalty here. Have a look at the cameraman behind there. He knows exactly where that offence took place. It's right on the edge, isn't it? I've got it a little bit late there. It was closer than that makes it look. But Sarr down and wins the pen. And Sarr, cool as a cucumber, sticks it into the back of the net. Past Bialkowski. Watford, home form, strong defence, physicality, power, experience, all of those things. They've had all of them. They've done all of them. Since they went to the 4-3-3, they've been pretty untouchable, haven't they? Superb run there. Probably something like, I'm pulling numbers out of my backside here, but something like 12 wins in 15 or something, or 13 wins in 17. I don't know. Huge output from Watford to get to 88 points. On our 10-year averages, we know it's 85. Is it 85 or is it 84? Let me double check. I do this every week and never remember what the number is. 10-year average, there you go, 84, and they're well past it with 2 games to go. And that 10-year average looks like being pretty bob on. Unless Brentford win their last 3 games, they can get above the 84, but they need more than 6 points to do it. So it'd be 83 for third place, wouldn't it? But 83.7, it said. Millwall drop into mid-table there, 12th, 1 point in the last 4. Who's going to win the 8th place trophy? I wonder. Millwall not doing themselves any favour. And it'll be dreadfully disappointing if they finish in the bottom half, having got themselves well positioned. Russell, legend, thank you for all of your work this year from all the Norfolk Hornets. There you go. That's a strange conglomeration of Norwich and Watford, but we'll take that. Thank you very, very much, Lee. Let's have a look at some comments. What are we saying? Afternoon, Iain. Congratulations, Watford. Helps when you keep a hold of Sarr. Absolutely, doesn't it? They did have to sell others, though, didn't they? You could have said the same. You could have swapped Sarr for Delafeo or maybe Pereira or Decore as well. A lot of quality that they did sell. They would have kept one, wouldn't they, Watford? But Sarr was the most saleable asset, wasn't it? Job done for the Hornets. I'm sure the clock was on a go slow. Always seems that way, doesn't it? From the 60th minutes, nerve-shredding ending. Deeney on 70 grand. Woof! There you go. We played well at Watford and Brentford, but completely outplayed at home to Sheffield Wednesday and Bournemouth. Typical Rowett. There we go. Not even a Watford fan, but happy for them to be back in the Premier League. I always love watching some of their players. Some quality there. Shisco positivity. Thank you, Delayed Pilot, excuse me. I'll always say I've been lucky with the players from the first day. Everyone worked with the same idea and passion. It's nice when everybody has the same direction. Isn't it just, hey? So well done, Watford. Remember, Norwich fans, Watford fans, dearly departed next season. Leeds, Villa, possibly the playoff winners. I don't see Fulham and West Brom stopping up now, sadly, but hopefully we'll get 5 teams. Well, we definitely get 5 teams. May even have 6, but there you go. Right, Bournemouth versus Brentford was the 3rd place versus 5th place game, which we did as a watch-along. And I don't really know what to say about this. It felt like Bournemouth were a little bit off it and Brentford were pretty good. And yeah, I don't know. I just expected a bit more from Bournemouth in this game, having won 7 on the trot. But well played to Brentford, who were really good value for it in the end, even with 10 men. Thank you, Mike Warmbold. a 99-cent super sticker. Very, very kind. Thank you. Mike, you can support via super chat like Mike has, and Russell did earlier. Brilliant. Thank you, guys, both of you. Brentford take the points. Brian and Buemo with the goal. Let's go through the teams and have a look at it. Get your comments in, please, on Bournemouth and Brentford. Begovic, Smith, Carter, Vickers, Cook, Rico in for Bournemouth there. Wilshere, Lerma, no Pearson, Stanislas, no Brooks, Billing, Danjuma, Solanke. For Bees, they stick with a 3-5-2. Raya, Janssen, who loves the end of the season running, doesn't he? Red card for him. Norgard, Pinnock, Canos, left wing back. Janelt, Jensen, Roslev, Fosu, Tony, and Force. What have we got first? Then we've got the red card first. Janssen and Danjuma having a lovely old time there. Second yellow for Janssen, and off he goes. But great work from Ivan Toney, which this picture doesn't really show you. He forces the save first from Begovic, and Brian and Buemo, the substitute, comes on, sticks it in the net. There was other chances, wasn't there? Particularly that one-on-one that Tony missed, and he still can't get to 30 goals, for goodness sake. Been stuck on 29 for a few games now, hasn't he? Tony, yeah, and the numbers tell us 4 big chances to 1. If we only pull out one number from there, pretty viable win for Brentford. And for a short time, we did have a scenario where Brentford had won. If Watford had have lost to Millwall and then Brentford win the game in hand against Rotherham, then it's Brentford versus Watford next week. I was getting all excited about a possible head-to-head, but no, Watford put paid to that at 3 p.m. Thank you, SofaScore, for the impromptu reset. We always have to have one per stream, don't we? So Brentford on 78, and you would suggest Brentford are pretty strong favourites to finish third, being there's only 3 games left for them and 2 for everybody else this close to the end of the season. Look at the metrics. They're still... They still tick a lot of boxes, Brentford. Bournemouth had been ticking a lot of boxes, i.e. 7 boxes in 7 games. But yeah, a bit of a disappointing performance for Bournemouth, who've been really, really good, obviously, the previous weeks. So interesting possible playoff matchup. And I suppose the beauty of this now, 78, 77, 77, 77. We could have anybody versus anybody out of that. I know there's not literally that many permutations, but... anyone could play anybody in the playoffs out of those 4. It's not a lock so far for position, even though it is of the teams that are going to be in there. Jamie, a bit of negativity on Watford and Norwich on social media. Some fans see the parachute payments as too much an advantage. I've done chapter and verse on this, Jamie. The wealth distribution in the Championship is appallingly badly divided. The parachute payment is needed, you can buffer some of those Premier League costs, but the disadvantage for the teams that don't have it is horrible. And yes, I'm okay for the 3 relegated teams, of course. They should get more money than everyone else. They finished higher in the pyramid. It should be a meritocracy. But should they get 5 times more broadcast money? That's good FFP money? No. But... don't hate the player, hate the game. It's not Watford and Norwich's fault. Well, it is a little bit, because parachute payments are voted in by Premier League, and they will have voted on parachute payments, whereas a lot of Championship teams who get very badly affected by them haven't. So, look, the system's absolute crap, frankly. We all know it. Let's hope we get some reform. Sorry, just went off on a quick parachute payment rant there. There we go. Anthony... I'm in a meeting, but here's your Barnsley bonus to sum up an amazing season. Defensively, not enough recognition. Thank you very, very much. Right, what are we saying on this one? Brentford and Bournemouth. Bournemouth defeat may do them good in terms of making sure they keep concentrated. Yeah, true. Some nice quotes here from Delayed Pilot. To win 7 league games in a row is a fantastic effort, but it had to come to an end. We had opportunities, but our final ball and decision-making was not good enough. Decent result that keeps Barnsley challenging for the highest position possible. Would love to not play Brentford till that final happens. Bournemouth lacklustre, worrying for Woodgate. Brentford should play good for Janssen. There we go. A loss, but overall been very impressed with Woodgate. Did worry slightly about how he would fare against Championship playoff veterans Warnock and McCarthy. Luckily, Jansen didn't cost Brentford. No, they were fine without him. Mr. E. Brentford have confused me now. Thought Bournemouth were nailed on to win the playoffs, but the Bees look their old selves again and were impressive just to confuse us just before we get into the playoffs. Thank you again to Anthony for the super chat. Very, very, lots of kindness out there today. Let's talk about Swansea, who are fifth and guaranteed playoffs also. By the way, guys, good resource this. Go into Transfermarkt, click on tables, and you can get this, which is the possibilities for final position. I can flash that up again a few times before the end of the show, but a really good resource. I mean, it's kind of pointless until about 6 or 7 games before the end of the season, but a really good resource, that one over on Transfermarkt. Right. Reading 2, Swansea 2 was the watch-along yesterday, and it did look like we were going to get some Championship chaos when Reading took the lead. And Andre Ayew, who I was worried that he wasn't fit, comes off the bench in a bit of a Superman show by Ayew to get Swansea back into the game. He was brilliant, and Swansea then swung it back to 2-1. And the game ends 2-2 with Estevez, but that was enough for the Swans. So Reading 2, Swansea 2, there are your teams. Raphael in goal for Reading, Yidam, Holmes, Moore, Richards, Laurent, Renamotor, Maite, Swift, Ijaria, Zhao. By the way, quick plug, I've done the Reading season review already. It's up this morning. So if you want chapter and verse on Reading, I think pretty much 30-minute video, deep dive into Reading's season. There's your Swans team, back four again. Woodman, Norton, Cabango, Guay, Bidwell, Hurahan, Fulton, Grimes, Routledge, Cullen, Lowe. Look on the bench, though, because Ayew is going to be the key guy yet again for Swansea. Here are the goals. Really good work from John Swift for this one. Gives Reading the lead. His cross comes in. Maite gets across his man on the back post. Nods that one in off the far post. Gets wrong side of Jake Bidwell. Ayew's first bit of magic was on the touchline. You won't see that. But he does drag back and flicks through the legs of, I think it's Liam Moore. 3 defenders all occupied. Allow Jay Fulton to run into the box. His shot's parried. Jamal Lowe sticks in the rebound. 1-1. And then really great work from Jake Bidwell. And Ayew is not going to miss that, is he, after a parry from the keeper. And we do get another goal. Great finish by Thomas Estevez. Edge of the box, left foot through the crowd into the corner. Too little, too late. And the reason is that Reading and Swansea were direct rivals going into this game, 6th and 7th position. And that Swansea victory meant Swansea draw, or Reading not winning, meant an 8-point unassailable gap. The playoffs locked up. Reading 1 win in 9 at the business end of the season. And look at all the streaks we've had. Cardiff had a streak. Barnsley seem to have been on a streak for about 4 months now, don't they? Swansea haven't. Bournemouth have had a streak. Brentford haven't really. Earlier in the season, the 21 undefeated. And Norwich and Watford both had strong winning streaks. Reading in the second half of the season. I know first 8 games they did were the only ones not to do it. Swansea, 2 points in 3. You can say they've fallen into the playoffs, but look, they've got 77 points, which is very, very decent. What does my 10-year average spreadsheet say, ladies and gentlemen? I'm sure you all want to know that, don't you? That's the wrong one, sorry. My 10-year average says it's 72 points on average to get into the playoffs. You can see 7th place normally gets 71.9 points. So there's this kind of mini high tide, which actually isn't that much of a high tide because they're all around the same area. But 7th place, 71. Okay, it probably will be a high tide for playoffs. So tough luck really for Reading, but you know, you've got to score the amount of points for that season, not the 10-year average, haven't you? Let's have a look at some comments. Reading still unbeaten all season in games where Swift has played. I'm not surprised. If only, hey, Ayew in the impressive low be a threat in the playoffs. I said in the chat it was worth risking Ayew from the bench. Well, you were damn right about that, So if he can, they get him fit. Just leave him rested now. Wrap him up in cotton wool before the playoffs. Can't help thinking if Reading had Swift fit. Look at Maite's numbers as well. Go and check my video. Yaku Maite started 18 games this season and scored 11 goals. So look at the goal ratio and look at the fact that he missed 28 minus 44, 16 games 26 games as well. Where do Reading need to improve next season? Well, they need to do some jiggery pokery. I think they might need to sell Mr. Elise and retool. We played okay and we've made it to playoffs again. It's going to be a tough one, but whilst we've got AU, there's always hope. There is indeed, isn't there? Here's Cooper. Well done, delayed pilot. The message at halftime was to keep going, but just a bit more positive of our positional play and our passing. We did that and we scored 2 goals. Or you could say, bring your star player off the bench and watch him skill everybody up. Is Ayu's value to his club greater than any other player in the Championship? I don't think it is, Chris, because I think Emi Buendia's value to Norwich is over 100 million quid because he kind of guarantees promotion in the Championship, doesn't he? So not saying they're a one-man team, but keep him and you're probably going up. But same deal, Chris. Obviously, he doesn't have as many good players around him as Mr. Buendia does. But yes, very, very much slightly out of kilter with some of his teammates, isn't he, Mr. Ayu? But yeah, brilliant player. Hard on Reading after being a top 6 team. It is. But Pete, watch my video on it. What Reading did get was an unsustainable start to the season. It was a brilliant first 8 games, but it was a huge overperformance. The numbers say 1.21 points per game last season. The remaining games of this season, 1.31, so slight increase. Those first 8 games, 2.75 points per game. They were twice as good in those first 8 games as they've been at any other time over the last 2 seasons, if you buy my lies, damned lies, and statistics. Okay, let's move on. And I've been talking to lots of very happy Barnsley fans because Barnsley, what a great story. Feel a bit sorry for Luton, really, don't you? Luton having a great season from League One. Barnsley have totally peed on their chips, haven't they? But well done to the Tykes. Confirmed playoffs with 2 games to play. They've got 77 points. They've won 4 out of 5 again. They're just not going anywhere, are they, Barnsley? Just sensational stuff from the Tykes. Although, caveat alert with this game, because to say Rotherham were a little bit unlucky would perhaps be veering into the realms of understatement here. But Barnsley have been fantastic all season. Rotherham run lucky. 2 things can be true. Yes, and Barnsley win 1-0. And Barnsley will be in the playoffs. Woof. What a story. They're up against 2 playoff teams from last season, one of which is a parachute team, that being Swansea last year, and another year 1 parachute team. So they are definitely the people's champion here, Barnsley, aren't they? But just be careful. Don't get carried away. There's some good teams and those playoffs can be damn unforgiving, can't they? Here is your Barnsley team. Collins, Solbauer, Hellick, Anderson, Stiles, Britton, Moa, Halma, so no Ramon Palmer, Morris, Woodrow, DK, Johansson in goal. He's only going to last a minute or so, and we're going to see why. Well, it says 7 minutes there. He might have been getting treatment for most of those, I think. MacDonald, Wood, Ihekwe, Lindsay, Giles, MacDonald, the other one, Sean, Angus in defence, obviously. Wing, Ogbene, Smith, and Ladapo. And look, I feel a bit better now about what I was saying about the Matt Crooks red card. I actually didn't have a problem about the Matt Crooks red card for Rotherham. However, this one isn't great, is it? I don't know what went wrong here. Whether I mean, look at the ref in the back of the picture there. I mean, I don't know if there's anything blocking his line of sight. I don't know whether he blinked at the wrong time or he just bottled a big decision. But it does seem fairly obvious that Carlton Morris fouls Victor Johansson, doesn't he? And if we compare and contrast that with the Crooks decision, well, I do have some sympathy for Rotherham fans. That goal could well have been chalked off, let's just say, on that one. And it's the only goal of the game. So look, I know a lot of things can be true. I do understand Rotherham had, I mean, what was the actual official timing of that goal? It was like 2 minutes or something, wasn't it? 2 minutes. Rotherham did have a long time to get an equaliser. And okay, I understand the argument. Maybe Barnsley would have played differently had they not been 1 up. But look at that. 2 big chances for Barnsley, 4 big chances for Rotherham. And it's lack of goals that's killing them, isn't it? We've talked about COVID. We talked about tiredness. We talked about 4-game weeks and all of that good stuff. Their last 4 games now, Rotherham, didn't score against Coventry, didn't score against Birmingham, scored 1 against Borough, and didn't score against Barnsley here. So goals, 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 said Motley Crue, didn't they? You have to be a certain age to remember that one. So Barnsley, tick, yes, well done. Clap hands, 77 points, 2 games to go. Who will they get in the playoffs? Who the hell knows? That could switch around quite a lot between now and the end of the season. So we'll keep our powder dry on who would be a good semi-final, who would be a bad semi-final, etc. Rotherham, feels like I've said this 1,000 times in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Rotherham are still in it because of the games in hand. And again, I mean, we can look at that resource. So Rotherham can still, on paper, score 51 points, which would tie them up with Coventry, Bristol City and Forest. I think the Transfermarkt algorithm said they can't catch them though. So I don't know whether there's games between those teams where one of them has to score points or something of that nature. But look, let's be very frank about it. It's kind of between Rotherham, Derby and Huddersfield now. But do remember that nobody else other than Rotherham could catch Huddersfield. Sheffield Wednesday can't. Safety is between really, should we say 2 teams from 4? I don't know. We'll talk about that in a sec with what Sheffield Wednesday got coming up and what Derby coming. Anyway, let's go to some comments on this one. Seem to have been a lot of games where Rotherham should have got a better result. Well, I know. Tough. Or into the Morley crew. There we go. Blame ref and Rotherham lack of finishing, not Morris. I didn't blame Morris, Neil. Anyone hear me blame Morris? I don't think he's been booked this season. I did not blame Carlton Morris. Absolutely not. If a player is fouled, that's on the referee. Isn't it? Goal, that was GBH, but the incident didn't lose us the game. Ultimately, the criminally poor finish. There you go, Iain. And he knows more about Rotherham than the rest of us. So on the ball with your stats, Ben. Absolutely. Was the wrong decision for the Barnsley goal. Oh, Tyler, don't say that. But we've had goals. I know. No consolation. Sorry for Luton. Always feel sorry for Luton. They're just down the road from me, hey. Felt like Leeds v Barnsley at this stage last season where we battered them all game, but Leeds ran away with a nice 1-0. Nice to be Leeds in this example. Well said. This is a brilliant listen. Thank you, Jonathan Richard Saunders. You have to feel sorry for the Millers. Controversial referee Ward. You've got to love referee Ward, Jamie, haven't you? If Wigan didn't get that point deduction, would Barnsley have gone down last season? Well, on paper, yes, they would, but plenty of time did pass in between. They deserve playoffs this season. They've been great. Either way, we've got more money for getting into the playoffs, haven't we? Fingers crossed. Remember in the Championship, though, it's all about saleable assets, and they've certainly got those in the shape of Callum Styles and Callum Britton. Daryl DK, he may be going someplace else. We'll see. As a Barnsley fan, no goal for me, but good teams get results when they play bad. And I hate to say to any Rotherham fans, the reverse of that is true as well. When things go against struggling teams, they don't win, do they? They just can't get past that. Credit to you. The playoffs are a lottery. The playoffs are not a lottery. We'll do lots of videos on this. I've got lots of evidence to tell you the playoffs are anything but a lottery. But we'll get into that when we do those videos. Hard not to get carried away. Barnsley's success, the direct antithesis of the business and greed-minded Super League. Yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of buying into that, aren't they? Right, have I done all the comments here? What are we saying? I think their goal was a foul. Calm. Everybody calm. Don't get too emotional about this. Look, it was a foul. Fine. Shouldn't have been a goal. Let's not get too emotional. My free faves. Benny Boy Bisotti. Yes, I was on the Second Tier podcast yesterday. All good fun. I really hope Rotherham stay up. It's getting late now. It is getting late. Right, moving on. Who are we doing next? Right, look, we're going to be on the beach for some of these games, but not this first one, which is Cardiff 2, Wycombe 1. In fact, should we just go straight to the league table? Obviously, I will go through the game, but this result means that Wycombe are almost mathematically down. They're not mathematically down, though, are they? Because on paper, they can still catch Derby, but minus 21 is Derby's goal difference, and minus 34 is Wycombe's goal difference. So you're looking at a 13-goal swing over 2 games. So even though we can't say Wycombe are down, they are, what terminology do we use? As good as down, I think. Here are the teams. For Cardiff, Smithies in goal, Morrison, Flint, Nelson, Brown, NG, Pack, Rules, Murphy, Coyle, and Moore. Nice to see Coyle getting a chance. We've heard from a few Cardiff fans about him. Stockdale in goal for Wycombe, Grimmuch, Stewart, Jacobson, Onyedinma, McCarthy, Adinair and Thompson, McCleary, Musgrave, Ick, Pezu. Let's have a look at the incidents in this one. There were incidents and accidents, hints and allegations. Name that tune while I try and find the right picture. There we go. Kiefer Moore was on fire in this game. Dribbles in off the right-hand side. Drills that one low right into the corner. Whilst I'm looking at the penalty call here, I will quickly press a button on here that will tell me that Kiefer Moore has scored 20 goals now this season in the league. Only Tony Pukki and Armstrong have scored more. More from Armstrong in a bit. And that is Sean Morrison taking down... I can't see. Is it Onyedinma? Name that player. Anyone do it? Joe Jacobson doesn't miss penalties, does he? Or someone will find an example now. But sticks into the back of the net. 1-1. And here is Big Kiefer again. Great finishing. Drills that one in this time with the right foot for his 20th goal of the season. Will Volks has a lovely old time. I hope he didn't hurt that opponent there, because he came on like 94 minutes and got sent off on 95 minutes. Which I'm sure Mick would have been terribly pleased about. So, decisive, possibly. Wycombe now need 2 wins. They need 2 defeats for Derby. They need Rotherham to do nothing. And they need a 13-goal swing. So, Wycombe as good as down, but we can't say they are down just yet. And Cardiff, are Cardiff going to win the 8th place cup? 6 points in the last 4. You'd think someone might be able to pass them if that maintains. There's only another 2 games for it to maintain. It's only, 1.5 per game, so it'd only be 1 more win. Someone could go past them. Who knows? But they're in the hot seat there, and Wycombe are in the, well, what's the opposite of a hot seat? The electric chair. There we go. Right. What are we saying? Ainsworth looking to us, looking to next season. If that's it, positive for us. We don't want to finish bottom. That's our challenge. Pace didn't look big enough for Pace. Who did it? What happened to Cardiff? 2 wins in 10 games just dropped off, didn't they? Who will Ainsworth take with him? Pezu, Mehmeti as well, possibly. Ainsworth already talking about promotion push next season. Teams separated by very little. Thanks for coming, Wycombe. You did not disgrace yourself in the slightest. Call me Al. Well done. Think I might, for the first time, have to disagree with you on the playoffs being a lottery as a Blade. Well, Ben, I mean, we can get into a good numbers debate here. Does Sheffield United never win in a playoff game confirm that they're a lottery? Or does the fact that 3rd place disproportionately wins the playoffs more than any other position say that it goes with the league table? If you can provide me some numbers, you will get a playoffs by numbers video, but I strongly do not believe that the playoffs are a lottery. And do you know the weirdest quirk about the playoffs, and we do this in the video, is that 3rd place disproportionately beats 6th place. However, when sixth place actually get to the final, they tend to win. So, no, I do not. And I think I can give you a pretty sound mathematical analysis to say the playoffs are not a lottery. The only quirk in the playoffs is that fifth win the second semi-final more than fourth, only by two more games, whereas third place sixth is a home run. I think third beats sixth almost double the amount of times. So anyway, I'll do the numbers properly, but I did the myths about the playoffs that I want to debunk. A, they're a lottery. No, they're not, because surely it would be an equal amount for each place if they were. B, third place always struggle. No, they don't. And C, sixth place always do well. No, they don't. They're the playoff myths. But I'll get you the numbers. I promise you. You can talk about Palace beating West Ham. West Ham beat Ipswich in the semi. You can talk about that. But name me one other time. I think one other time in the past 15 years would be Blackpool in 2010. The only other sixth place team to win in the last 15 years or so. I disagree to an extent with your playoffs. Tell me how on earth Derby lost that final against QPR. You can pick out one. You can pick out one example. That doesn't make the playoffs a lottery. Yes, Derby should have won that game, shouldn't they? But that's one game. They should have gone up. They were the best team that season. That doesn't make the whole playoffs as a system a lottery. That means Derby got diddled on that day. But there we go. We'll come up with the numbers. I just if the playoffs are a lottery, then every league in the world is a lottery, because you can just argue anyone can win it. So there you go. I wouldn't call them a lottery, but at the same time, anything can happen. Well, like I just said, then any league in the world is a lottery, isn't it? Because each team plays each team twice, and away you go. Anyway, I'm labouring my point. I will do a video on that one. We'll get our normal playoffs by numbers video. That could be my new hashtag. Hashtag they're not a lottery. Not a lottery. That's easy for me to say. Let's move on. And we're going to talk about Middlesbrough and Sheffield Wednesday. Wednesday are hanging in there. However, they need still a big swing in the last two games. Let me bring up the table. Sorry. It was Middlesbrough 3, Wednesday 1. They were level at one stage, weren't they? But in the end, going under. And now Wednesday, 4 points adrift of Derby, 2 to go. Derby play Swansea next week. Wednesday, of course, play Forest, don't they? So Forest could either help or hinder Derby, depending on how hard they want to go on Sheffield Wednesday. No accusations of unprofessionalism from me, of course. And then we could get a last day head-to-head. And, of course, this could all be coloured by whatever Rotherham do against Brentford and whether Brentford choose to rest any players tomorrow night in the big game in hand. Anyway, this one, Archer in goal, McNair, Hull, Boller, Howson, Johnson and Cabano wide, Watmore, Saville, Balassi and Akpom. Westwood in goal for Wednesday, Hutchison, Lees, Burner, Reach, Palmer, Pelopessi, Bannon, Green, Patterson and Windass. Here are your goals. And here is Yannick Balassi, who is going to be the Loney of the week in my tribal football column. You love to see it. He smashes that one in. I think it might have got a bit of a deflection. Penalty for Wednesday. Stuck in by Josh Windass. Yeah, Windass on 39. And one of the youngsters is going to score, actually, Josh Coburn. Right, I need to put myself in pedant's corner here. Coburn scores, but I don't know if any Sheffield Wednesday fans noticed this. The corner, the ball was rolling when they took the short corner. This goal should have been disallowed. Put me in pedant corner right now. Any Wednesday fans spot that? I'm sure they did. But yeah, that great for Coburn, but it's a foul corner. Clearly the ball is rolling when they take it, but there we go. And there is the winning goal. Balassi heads down. Watmore forces it over the goal line. And there you have it. So once again, we're talking about the 8th place trophy, aren't we? And we're talking about the bottom 3. So Middlesbrough, back-to-back wins, too little too late for the playoffs. But can they get up a couple more places? Can they tempt Yannick Balassi, who's going to be a free agent in the summer to sign up with them. Sheffield Wednesday, so it's Wednesday versus Forest and Derby versus Swansea. You tell me. We'll do it in the preview. Will it go down to the last game? Remember, Rotherham play in the meantime. Exciting stuff. Oof. We all want to see that Wednesday v Derby last day fight. That'll be, I suppose the Wednesday and Derby fans probably don't, but there we go. Borough have perked up since Warnock exercised. Assombalonga and Fletcher. I'm with you, Ben. Maybe it's more a coin flip. I think what it is about the playoffs is that because it's a league which then turns into a cup competition, I think, and then, yes, you're right, lose that game on that one day. But all I'm saying is if you take the full 20 years, or I'll do it. I did it last season. Then third place do normally win, or certainly more often. Let's have a look here. Send you a PayPal. Oh, thank you very, very much, Steve. Very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. The season we have no team having a late run into the playoffs. We usually have one team that is standout, but not really this season. No, I agree with that. Sometimes you get a three-way shot for the top two and third place way ahead of the rest. That's not happening this season. Don't even talk to me about Ipswich and West Ham in 2004-05. Ipswich were miles ahead of them. I think there's an even worse one. Historians in the chat. Portsmouth and Leicester, 92-93. And Guy Whittingham and Pompey were miles ahead of them in the league, but Six played third, and Leicester won the semi. I don't think they won the final, though. I think Derby might have beaten them in the final. Ridley, did Derby beat them in the final there? Wednesday will have to beat Derby on the final no matter. Derby can get away with a draw. Wednesday still massively relying on other teams. Totally true. God, imagine how bad a football manager I'd be, Cameron. I'd be awful. I'd be scared of these alpha male guys, wouldn't I? Alpha male millionaires, but there we go. Feel for Wednesday. I know what it's like to be docked points. Hopefully they will bounce back. We'll see. We will see. Right. I do think we are going to the beach now. Everybody up for some beach ball? And, now this will be a fun one to talk about. Anyone see Nigel Pearson's post-match? Actually, tell me what you think, because Paul Cook's doing this at Ipswich as well. Tell me what you think about the complete burial of players here who can't get motivated with the season running out and no crowd there. Because Nigel Pearson and Paul Cook are both going down that route. However, it was El Collapso again for Bristol City at home. If anyone's got Bristol City's home record, is it 8 defeats in 9 at home? 9 defeats in 10, possibly? Can anyone smart me up on that? I think 9 defeats in 10. And they were 2-0 up and they lost 3-2, goddammit. And Luton are just away scamps, aren't they? Absolute awful team if you're having a bad day at home. Luton will just beat you, won't they? And here's a good stat for you. Luton have the same amount of away goals as Sheffield Wednesday, right? 15. Sheffield Wednesday are the worst away team in the league. Luton have the same amount of goals and nearly over double the amount of points away from home. Luton's away form is the stuff of legend this season, statistical quirks, which I love. Hopefully you do too. There is your teams, or there are your teams. Bentley, Sessignon, Viner, Callas, Rowe, Lansbury, Backinson, Narge, Conway, Masengo, Wells, Conway, another youngster being used. Luton, Sluga, Bree, Pearson, Bradley, Naismith, Dewsbury Hall, and Panzu, Clark, Tunnicliffe, Luar, and Adebayo. Let's find the goals. That's not the first one, is it? That's the first one. There we go. Naki Wells played in. Good break by Adam Narge. And Wells, good finish with the right foot. Then Narge himself, tight angle there, squeezes that one home from the rebound. 2-0, half-time. Here comes James Collins off the bench. Sorry, a bit blurry. Flick header on the near post from a corner into the net. Dewsbury Hall also sets this one up, actually. Comes in from the left. A really good finish that by Adebayo, actually. Cushions that one and it goes right in off the far post. Lovely stuff by the Luton forward. And then it's Dewsbury Hall again. Look at him flat on his backside next to the referee. Driving forward, plays it in. Maybe a bit of a lucky Collins is just challenging for the ball, but it falls to Cornick, who Iain Rush swivels and shoots in one movement, sticks it in the back of the net, and wow, just wow to Bristol City's home form. And Josh, who's a subscriber, emailed me about Bristol City's form. I believe now it's something like 29 games. They're the worst team in the league. So we normally say, okay, if you can give me a stat for 23 games, half a season sample size, that's bad. But this is over half a season now. Bristol City have scored fewer points than everybody else. My God, they need a reset in the summer, don't they? Luton, brilliant. 60 points. We questioned, didn't I? Can Luton get anywhere near 60 now? Yes, with 3 games to go. And remember, they've got that game in hand as well against Rotherham. So can they get even higher? Can they get in the top 10? I know Thunder stolen a little by Barnsley up in the top 6, but still brilliant flag flying from Luton. Cornick's first goal all season, was it? I know he got a lot of assists. Brentford have lost at least 4 fewer games than any other teams in the playoffs, so that would point to them winning them, and they will finish third. But they have a terrible playoff record. Yes, they do. Ben, do you think Watford will keep hold of Sarr next season? Yes, I do, actually. I do. Richard, never heard us called scamps before. Lovely. What else have we got? Thought Bristol would improve under Pearson. Results show that's not the case. Luton had an amazing season. Barnsley fans would have taken that at the start of the season. So would the Coventry fans as well, and the Rotherham fans, all these ex-League One teams. Still wouldn't be surprised to see Pearson walk away. Players usually win over managers in the end. 2008-9, Don's way clear of Scunthorpe, lost in a shootout. Awful, hey? Iain loves the playoffs. There we go. 3 attempts, never failed to reach the final. I think we find in... I haven't done the numbers yet. In the Championship, it's Burnley are the kings. I think Hull have been in 2 and won 2. Burnley have won every game. They've only been in 1. I think Burnley have been in the playoffs once, won all 3 games and not conceded a goal either under Owen Coyle. I just want to put up... where's that comment about Luton's away goals there? Oh, I can't see it now. Oh, there you go, Danny. 6 goals in the last 2 8. That's ruined everything, Danny, hasn't it? What am I going to do with my stats about Luton having very few goals and lots of points? KDH is a proper player, isn't he? Absolutely. What have we got here? Yeah, Dewsbury Hall. Quality. Where's he going to wind up next season? I'm sure Luton will take him. Right, we did Millwall already. Let's talk about Stoke, baby. I can't believe I did that. No one clipped that one, for goodness sakes. Pathetic. Who sang that song? Talk about all the good things. Anyway, moving on. Forest 1, Stoke 1. Beach ball, yes. Houghton versus O'Neill. Here's your Forest team. Samba, Christie, Worrell, McKenna, Ribeiro, Garner, Yates, Freeman, Cafu, Kravinovic, Graben. I'm just looking at the shots on target there. 3 in the game, 2 goals. Okay, decent finishing. Well, quite easy chances, I think. Davies in goal for Stoke. Norrington Davies, left back. He's one to fall over. Suter, Bart, Smith, Mikel, Timon, Thompson, Clucas, Matondo, Fletcher. Matondo's going to get on the scoring sheets, scoring charts. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Let's have a look at the goals. Crossed in by, is that Norrington Davis just crouching down? And Matonda, I think that takes a deflection though and just trickles in past Samba. 1-0. And another muggy one here. Grabbing in with the challenger. I think it hits one head, hits the other. It's good by Grabbing though, because that ball hasn't even landed and he just, striker's instinct there, just pokes it into the net. What I will say is 2 clubs underachieving, aren't they? Goodness me. And Stoke are going to mug me off. I had the first look back at my pre-season predictions. I'm miles out with Stoke and they've dropped into the bottom half. Not good enough for a parachute team with Bet365 money and years of Premier League history. And that just goes to prove that not all are able to use the advantage. And Forest, 3 points in 4. They've got to 51. So I think the transfer mark thing said, I'm assuming that someone's playing somebody else. Yeah, Forest playing Sheffield Wednesday. I'm trying to figure out which would mean that they couldn't catch them, although the transfer mark algorithm does say that those 3 teams are on 51 are all safe. So they must be playing each other or something at some point there. Let's have a look at any comments on that. Should have stayed with Nathan Jones. Yeah, that worked well, didn't it? I'm surprised you putting Shale in the sin bin is not. Oh, no, please don't. Please don't. You spat your soup out, Sophie. Let's talk about Stoke, baby. I'm going to do that every time now on Stoke. That'll make the subscriber numbers go down. Was it Salt and Pepper? Yeah, it might have been, mightn't it? Mr. E with his early 90s knowledge there. Luton have scored 3 second-half goals to overturn deficits 3 times recently. You love to see it, don't you? Good show. Got to go. We're nearly done. Is that a hint to speed the hell up? Let's talk about Preston. Coventry 0, Preston 1. The heroic run of Coventry comes to an end. They lose at home to Preston, who are still with Frankie McAvoy in charge. He sounds so like a jockey, doesn't it? Is there a jockey called Frankie McAvoy? There's definitely a jockey called Frankie Dettori. I don't know. You tell me. So Coventry 0, Preston 1. Coventry have done their bidding, haven't they? Brilliant run by the Sky Blues. They'd won 4 in 5 before today. They're still in the bottom 6, but they've got 51. And that algorithm on Transfermarkt says they're safe again. I should probably double check who's playing who next week. Probably be a very straightforward answer. But there are your teams. Wilson, Rose, McFadzean, Hyam, McCallum, DaCosta, Harmer, James, O'Hare, Gyökeres and Biamu in goal. Iverson for Preston. Did I say Biamu in goal? Biamu for Cov. Iverson in goal for Preston. Story, Lindsay, Hughes, Barkhuizen, Vandenberg, Brown, who's in the season well, Whiteman, Ledson, Maguire, and Ched Evans up the top. And another penalty in this one. Wilson did well not to get sent off for that. I guess they're saying McFadzean is going to deny the obvious goal-scoring opportunity himself rather than, I don't know, who cares? End of the season. We won't debate it. You can if you want. Alan Brown, the most versatile player in the Championship, steps up and sticks the penalty home. Let's look at the table. Coventry 51, Preston 55. So Preston very safe. Coventry, again, I'll look into the next round of fixtures and we'll get an answer about that. Right. Let's do some comments first. So I won't jump straight onto Huddersfield. Callum, definitely not the best game I've watched. We just didn't look interested in that, but that doesn't matter. Secured survival. Looking forward to next season. Well said. McAvoy has done a decent job. Yeah, I agree with that. This show really helps me get through the week after Spurs let me down all the time. Well done, Henry. Who'd have thought a week ago Coventry would be on the beach? Games to spare. Not me. Brilliant stuff. Stoke, worst team to watch, in my opinion, this season. We have had a couple of bangers with Stoke, haven't we? Big shake-up at Stoke in the summer. Who knows? Who knows? They seem fairly well on the Michael O'Neill trace. Bristol City have lost 8 of their last 9 at home, 13 of 19 overall. Oof. Right. Sorry, I'm going long today, aren't I? That's not like me. Goals ahoy and hat-trick klaxon here for Adam Armstrong. It is Blackburn 5, Huddersfield 2. Huddersfield are not out of trouble yet. Mathematically, they could still get caught. They're very open. They lost 7 at Norwich and they've lost 5. And Armstrong, out of nowhere with 5 goals in recent weeks, having only scored 7 in 23, is back on Timu Puki's heels. He's got 24 now, Armstrong. So, I don't know. If he wants a pay rise or a move in the summer, he's doing a good job at the end of the season here, Adam Armstrong. Kaminsky in goal for Blackburn. Nyambe, Lenihan, Harwood, Bellis, Bell, Travis, Evans, Brereton, Rothwell, Gallagher, and Armstrong for Huddersfield. Schofield and some names that we're very pleased to see back here. Harry Toffolo is one of them. He's been back a couple of games. Sar, Keogh, Pippa. Carol Eiting is another one. Hogg, Pacuna, O'Brien. And Josh Koroma is another one with Danny Ward up top. I suspect if Eiting, Koroma and Toffolo had all played 10, 15 more games each, Huddersfield would be probably a few points better off. Right. Are you ready? Because we've got 7 goals to do in this one. Armstrong, poacher's goal. Bouncy, bouncy, corner. Heads it in from the 6-yard box. Brereton, 2-0. Left foot finish. Good assist by Gallagher. They're all combining well, the front 3 in this one. Lewis O'Brien is going to stick that one in on the back post, I thought, but they're saying own goal Niambe. Basically, Koroma slams it across the box. As I said, good to have him back. And Niambe own goal on the back post. Are you following? That is 2-1, by the way, at half-time. Armstrong tap in from Brereton. That's his second, and it is now 3-1. Here comes 4-1. Great assist by Armstrong for this one. Bad goalkeeping, though, by Schofield. It's quite down the middle of the goal, Gallagher's shot, and palmed into the corner. Who's that? It's Armstrong again for the hat-trick on the right foot there. And there is Josh Koroma, probably, unless anyone can gazump that, the goal of the day, isn't it? Curling that one right into the side net and around 3 Blackburn players and the keeper. And Blackburn, finally, a little bump for them. 6 points in the last 3 games. They go to 53. I still sense underachievement, but you just never know. Some teams, they have a lot of possession, have a lot of shots, and then they click, don't they? I just don't know whether Blackburn could do that if they hold on with Mowbray or not. And Huddersfield, 3 defeats in 4, 47 points. A Rotherham win against Brentford on Tuesday would put them 5 points behind with 2 games to go. Of course, Sheffield Wednesday cannot catch Huddersfield. They can only get to 45. Therefore, if Rotherham do not beat Brentford on Tuesday, Huddersfield are mathematically safe. Let's go to your comments. You said, Ben, Huddersfield very open, great games to watch as a neutral. Yeah, maybe not for we've got any Huddersfield fans in. Maybe not for their fans. Huddersfield v Coventry on Saturday. There you go. That explains it, doesn't it? If Derby win both their games, they can still catch. Yeah, we're only interested, Jay, in the teams in that bottom 3 in terms of who's safe. But yeah, could all move around a little bit more. Blackburn needed these wins weeks ago. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Maybe Huddersfield, Derby and Bristol and those poached by Barnsley. And I didn't get the first bit of that one. Armstrong will probably be sold, but at a great price. Well, he's ended the season well, and he has a good total. Right, really quickly, because I should have done this in the middle of the show. My apologies. Do bear with me for a quick little plug. And I say plug, it's my cards plug. I'm on fire today, aren't I? 20% off your order at Cards Plug. Get one of these bad boys. If you're a gamer or your son or your daughter is a gamer, this sort of thing might look familiar. These stats have been scientifically analysed. I went through lots of testing with the most high-powered people at Cards Plug to determine my 91 dribbling skill and 95 passing. I just had to keep passing that ball to get that stat, didn't I? Anyway, you need to go in the secret entrance, cardsplug.com/Bloom, enter discount code Bloom at checkout, and you will get 20% off your order. Cardsplug.com/Bloom, discount code Bloom at checkout. Boom. I think we've only got one game to go, haven't we? Yes. Derby 1, Birmingham 2. Arguably, biggest result of the weekend, really, isn't it? Because it keeps everything very, very interesting down at the bottom, but jolly disappointing if you are a Derby fan, because they just crack under pressure, don't they, Derby? And we said Lee Bowyer and Birmingham, we said that was going to be a difficult opponent, and Jutkiewicz, and despite having the lead, Bowyer does the business. Substitutes at half-time I've heard lots about in terms of keeping the ball, and 2 goals for Jutkiewicz in the second half. Birmingham keep up their stunning form. Has anyone got the maths on Birmingham? I'm guessing it must be, I know they were on 14 from 7, 17 points in 8 games. Is that right? It's magnificent if that's right. 17 points in 8 games for a team that looked like they were going down. Brilliant from Bowyer and Birmingham. There are your teams. Roos, Edmondson, Clark, Forsyth, Buchanan, Byrne, Knight, Shinnie, Lawrence, Waghorn, Kazim Richards. They are not bad players, are they? Read the names out. Etheridge in goal for Blues. Roberts, Dean, Pedersen, Seddon, Colin, Sunic, McGree, Gardner, Jukiewicz and Lecco up top. Here's the opener. Kazim Richards sticks that one home from Buchanan's cross and Derby lead at half-time. Here come the subs. Here comes the Jukiewicz long throw in. Can you spot him in there? He's been so hard to play against for years, Jukiewicz, hasn't he, in the Championship? And he gets that header in. And this last goal is really good, actually. Arriving, diving header, just powers it in the far corner. He's been brilliant. Bowyer's been brilliant. Birmingham have been brilliant. Derby have been dreadful for, most of the season, hence why they're 21st. And look at that last 5 games. They're definitely... No one else can match 5 defeats in 5. Rotherham can match 4 in 5. And Stoke 3 in 5 there. Wednesday 3 in 5. Huddersfield about 5 in 5. 0 points for Derby. They've got 2 games to go. They play Swansea, who are now guaranteed playoffs in the next game, whilst Sheffield Wednesday play Forest. Rotherham playing Brentford on Tuesday as well. Could close up. The question is, are Wednesday and Rotherham capable of scoring the points it would take to overtake Derby? In Rotherham's case, they've got minus 15 on the goal difference, so they would only need 4 as things stand. Derby's goal difference minus 21. Wednesday have a goal difference of, you guessed it, minus 21. So we could get a thoroughly interesting last game of the season if Wednesday are still within 3 points. There you go. Anything can happen in that game, regardless of what I said about the playoffs. Roberts is key for me, defence and throw-ins. This was the big opportunity, but had we won this one, we'd be basically safe. We blew it, as we've been doing a long time. Salt and pepper. There we go. Derby, 1 win in 13. So bad. So bad. Is there a non-weird way to ask both? No. That's tremendous. Squeaky bum time for Derby, entertaining for everybody else. Agreed. Taxi for Rooney. Birmingham 17 points from 8 games. Bettered only Bournemouth and Watford that time. Ridley, don't know what to say. We just can't do anything. Same stuff every game. Give away sloppy goals. How can you leave the big man unmarked? Twice. Shocking defending for the Derby goal. Got to admit, our second goal looked like a foul throw, is that supposed to say? But who cares? Sad we can't do our last day survival. Yeah, right. San Jose was a different player when he came on. Strange how poor he was before. Yuki's second goal of the week. He's on fire, isn't he? Derby cannot catch the teams on 51 points. No, they can not. Right. I think we're there, aren't we? Let me know if you want to shout out before the show finishes. Sorry, I've gone well over the hour, 1 hour and 10 minutes. You love to see it though, don't you? Hey, Championship ahoy. Let me do my plugs. Thank you to Russ, fan sponsor of this show, fan and house Rangers Spike Bench Table Tasting Football Teams. He sponsors the Championship review show. Get involved over on Patreon like Russ did, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Super chat, brilliant. Thank you so much. Loads of them today. You are all so kind. I mean, I know it sounds like scrounging and begging sometimes, but we make some money from the ad revenue on YouTube. We make some money from the Patreon, and the super chats really help glue everything together. We've got a bit of sponsorship now as well. I'm getting there, guys. I couldn't have done it without you, and your continued support really is, I don't want to say make or break, but it is. And I thank you so much, guys. YouTube, 15,400. Who'd have thought it? Hey, hairy bloke talking about the Championship. But yeah, please hit subscribe if you have not already. And don't forget, 20% off your order at CardsPlug, cardsplug.com/Bloom. Enter the discount code Bloom at checkout. Let's have a look here. Oh, have I got to do goal of the week? I've gone so long, guys. We do it on Twitter. I've gone so long, and I've just mentally checked out. But yes, Sophie, Aaron's good shout for goal of the week. I'll do the research. Time flies. Click the like button, everyone. Thank you, Sean, Phil Whitworth, Phil Herworth, Mr. E, Liam, off to watch more football. You deserve it. Oh, thank you, guys. We're getting there. We are getting there. I'd love for the YouTube ad revenue to pay for all of it, and then I can shut up about plugging Patreon and Super Chats. But in the meantime, much necessary. And you'll know all about that on Patreon as well, behind with some extra information on there. Cameron Hansel, thank you. Leeds 2021, thank you. Mark, I think I butchered it the other day. Mark Deshares, thank you. And Henry, thank you as well. Right, I got to go. I really have enjoyed my stay, but I must be moving on. Name that tune. I'll put it up if someone gets it right in the outro. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow night. But there'll probably be more season reviews before then. Check out the Reading season review that went out this morning. I've already done Watford. I've already done Norwich. There are others prepped. Enjoy. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button, and to be notified every time we upload, ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.